Must be a way to automate this. Hey, halfway. Running out of time. Come on. Whoops. Oh no! Wait, hey, easy. There we go. The microphone is on. The stream has started. Everything looks good. Hello, everybody. It's okay. The camera fell, not the world. It wasn't me that fell backwards. It was the camera that went. Okay, so we're going to be blah 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 blah. What are we doing? Oh, fire and demo level. Off we go into the editor. So I haven't really touched it again. I popped in for a second, and just I realised that in order to change it to the jungle tile set, we had to regenerate the overground tiles. I just pressed the button to do it and then didn't plug all the other stuff back in. You know, like because we end up with holes in the overground, and so all of the ramps and things have to be put back in. So I'm gonna have to do that now, and I'll make sure I load the correct ramps. I can't remember how to get the ones that aren't just grey. So I'll have a look at that, and then before we start putting underground spawners in and balancing everything, I did want to just have a quick look at a behaviour problem where the ants are going to make a bridge and they don't enter combat. It shouldn't be anywhere near as boring as the movement problem that we had last time. It should mostly be hanging out in the creature blueprints. So hopefully a bit more interesting. Anyway, let's start off in the level. You see, it's gone really bright, and I splodged some stuff. I was just messing with this, and you can see these don't fit anymore. And what I wanted to see was if I go to ramp, what happens? We put this ramp and this beach. You know what? I don't remember how these things work. Let's go into the leaf cutter demo and just have a look at the ramps, see what blueprint they are, and then if they've just got some paint here. Okay. Fish, fish, fish. It's the usual, is it? Okay. So a few of you might be familiar with this. demo level. Right, so I think there were going to be different ramps originally, and we just called this beach ramp, and they're all beach ramp. The only thing is, this has got ramp Ecuador. Right, and if I use my paintbrush, can I paint the ramp? I can paint the ramp. But what if is this material got, I don't know how materials work at all, by the way. So if I put ramp beach in, oh wow, that's clever. And then I'm actually painting different. So I just want materials, element 0, ramp Ecuador, and that should get me what I want. Don't save that. Alright, okay. So we can still use these. These are fine if I set this to ramp Ecuador. It becomes beautiful and I can paint over it. Okay. So yeah, I rebuilt this whole overground grid, and what it does is it leaves these horrible holes. It's a shame that they don't automatically fix themselves, but they don't. So I just need to fill them. It's like you have to check that they've been filled afterwards. Like everything needs to be filled. Including the bridge bits. I can't really see what I'm doing. Up here as well, and up here. Alright, let's assume that's pretty good. And then put that back in. Was it there? I thought it was further along than that. Right there. Okay. Let's check this one. Whoop. Whoop. Looks alright. Whoop. Whoop. Out and in. Out. In. Right, oh, I'm going to have to do the nest entrance as well. Forgot about that one. Fill all around there. Fill. Very good. And give that a wiggle. There it goes. And now the bridge pieces all need to be reconnected. Maybe I just go... If I double click, yeah, I can go to them. Oh, that one's still got a hole. Come on. There you go. There you go. I'm going to go through and reconnect all the bridge heads as well, because I don't trust that they're connected properly anymore. There we go, that's the problem, that one is. This would be quite therapeutic if I didn't feel the massive like pressure to rush to get it finished. Come on, Phil. Thank you. That's another one. So I need to check the chat more. What's going on in the chat? Fish eat ant. Of course that's what's going on in the chat. Do I even need to check the chat today? What's this one doing over here? What's that? Okay. Oh, that was the one we put the kink in the road. There we go. And I'm just gonna make sure these are connected. It's gonna straighten that line out. So I'll put the kink back into it. Oh look, I missed you. Oh no, I didn't. It just looked weird. Connect. Connect these two. probably all fine. But we did have a crash to do with this a while back. So I'm not going to leave anything to chance. Last one. I think that's the last one. We've done 2 per island now. I'm going to assume we have. We're going to save. Are there going to be more than fire ants? Yes. Kermit the Frog is a secret. We might get in trouble over copyright for that. So it could, like, you know, as soon as someone discovers the secret, we'd then get a cease and desist, and the secret would have to be removed. What if a meteor is approaching your home and only the chat can warn you? That's a good point. That is a good point. Isn't there supposed to be a meteor shower at some point? End of this week. Pirate. Fisher. Hey, you forgot some drone ant. They're called a late or princess. Yeah, we don't do the we don't do the sort of ant colony reproduction events. You know, it'd be a really nice thing to add in, but we just sort of quietly avoided it and just follow colony from sort of having its queen lay its first few eggs, so after she's mated, and then just, you know, having the colony start off, because the colonies don't tend to start producing, you know, the ants that can reproduce, that have wings and they fly off, until they're quite established, because there's no benefit to the colony to making those. It's just a drain on resources. Mouse. Tell the stats on the number of. Yeah, Mike's working on the Empires of the Undergrowth wiki. He's put a lot of work into that. So it'll be available in the game, and I'll have all of the stats and then lots of facts and things. Okay. Let's build the paths and then see if it crashes. I know this bridge is not going to be any good. Let's just see if things are working. Pardon me. Seems okay. Bridge 1, bridge 2, bridge 3. And bridge fail. Okay. Let's. You know what? Do we want a kink in the bridge or just a really long bridge? I'm just gonna make a really long bridge for now. That's just straight. Like, Matt set up this this spline so that you could add spline points to it, so that you could have he said interesting bridge shapes rather than just a straight line. But I'm not sure what shape to go with. Because if it wobbled a lot, I don't know if it might feel frustrating that you could get over there with less ants. Okay. Right, save again. Okay, so now we've got the right textures in, even though it's not painted. The next thing I'd like to do is take a look at that combat bug. So what I'm looking at here is when I made another little change in what we can spawn. So we've got a new launch function here. It doesn't really change anything, it just makes what we would... actually, I might not even use it on this level. I might just switch back to the old one. Where's that? Launch, okay. Interesting, that shouldn't really be there. It's supposed to be on a different button. Okay. Alright, so I press the button and jungle 1 creatures would spawn, and then I'll show you what the problem we were having. What's going on? Make an incredibly tiny gap and makes a very long journey. Yeah, it's possible to do that. Enemies can't cross fire ant bridges unless you know what, 2 fire ant colonies playing against each other. Oh god, there was something set up for dealing with that. I think it's whoever started the bridge gets to make it, like the ants don't team up. But I think also once a bridge is finished, enemy fire ants might be able to cross it. But other creatures shouldn't be able to. It's not allowed. It is the jungle design. It looks like the beach, but I've just updated it to use the jungle textures, and the first texture that appears just looks like white sand, but it will be jungle. Yeah, moving the queen. Yeah, difficult. Yeah, I mean we could have an objective. I could see it being an objective to create so many flying ants and then send them all away, and it'd be like, stockpiling food. Objective like that, like you had to invest in ants that don't really do anything, and then keep them safe. Okay, right, now I made a huge mistake by setting up the underground before we'd finished testing stuff, but no matter, let's cut this out and spawn a load of ants. Press the full stop to spawn some stuff. Make lots of ants here, and then a few more of these. We'll do your jobs. Right, so what's going to happen here? I need to find out where that thing that makes these guys switch colony ideas, because that needs to happen less. But anyway, if I make a bridge over here, that would be really, really dangerous, wouldn't it? I need to make a bridge here, right? And what I observed last time was that the ants don't fight. And I don't think it was because combat was turned off. So we'll see. They don't stop fighting until they've finished the bridge, right? Yeah, look, they're all running past, right?
The ants must fight.
They're all running past, and then as soon as the bridge is finished, well, the next slot, there's not that many. There's only just enough ants to make the bridge. So, but now they'll fight because we know that's not broken. So let's have a look at the behavior tree. And we'll have a look at the making the bridge subtree. And then this is going to target near the bridge head. Right. What causes the creature to enter its make bridge subtree? That's what we need to find out. So we're going to have a look at this. This is creature make decision. So a lot of the things that creatures decide to do are either handled or initiated in here. So make bridge. Okay, so it's down here. Is forming or already part of a bridge? It's not that. Right, okay. Here we go. So if this is now the normal state when Okay, this is putting the creature into the make bridge state, right? If the creature's in the make bridge state, it's going to bridge sort itself out. T first. If this is a colony creature and it's got a bridge head to cross and the bridge is not complete, return. And if the bridge is complete, its status isn't equal to waiting, it'll sort itself out. Okay. It will be the case if the ant is actually part of the bridge too. So what I'm guessing is that there's a big oversight here, which will be my fault, where if the ant is in the state of make bridge, it skips all of its fancy stuff, right? And the ant will be placed into this state, I'm guessing. So let's just run this test again, but I tell you what, so we don't have to keep digging underground. I'm just gonna, without wrecking all of our good work, I'm just gonna sort of make a little hole here. Yeah, we won't wreck anything else. It's just temporary, and we'll make ourselves. What should we make? We want fire ant chambers. Okay. And that should, let's just start us off with what we want, and then I'll have to dig through to the exit still. There we go. Press the full stop. So we get some creatures out here. And what I'm interested in is at what point, like one of these ants, right as soon as they've got to head to the bridge, they enter the status to make the bridge. Target near bridge head, move to the location and wait. That's actually a problem, because if they're, yeah, right, we never thought about this. So if they're just following a trail like usual, they don't get, nothing gets pulled out here, and they decide about loads of stuff that they might do, you know, picking up food and doing all sorts of things. So we don't actually want them to not consider all of this stuff. They want to consider gather food, yeah, and they've considered combat. And now once they've finished, I mean, there's no need to actually check do I want to cross bridge, I think, because that's... And that'll be unnecessary, because I can just check that they're in the status. But I think what we want to do is you want to move part of this to the bottom. Thing is, I put these returns in to save the ants from doing anything confusing, so we will have to have a think about it. It's a more difficult problem than I expected. Dead fish model, yeah. We forgot ants. The giant whip spider might become a titan. I don't know if, you know, because we didn't have a titan system, you know, beforehand. It's really big. We might have to upgrade it. Right, I've got to figure out which bits of this go down below. Right, so there's two cases where we decide that, you know, we don't want to deal with exiting this subtree, and I think what we need to do is, if it's equal to waiting for reservation, right? So we need to, we've got the creature cart state waiting as well. This is good, right? So if the bridge is complete, the creature cart state is equal to waiting for reservation. It's going to sort itself out first. But the thing is, right, I'm guessing that this this can come out with unsuccessful, but that's not going to exit the behavior tree. This resets the behavior tree, but only when there's no bridgehead to cross, right? Now the bridgehead isn't going to be lost in move to creature location target. It's not going to happen. Is this a move to... And in wait is not anything other than wait. Okay, but this tried to reserve bridge cart. So perhaps this allows us to clear the behavior tree, maybe. Here we go. Yeah, this will reset the decision to none if the bridge is no longer needed. Although I don't like how that doesn't have an output pin. As if the bridge is complete. Surely we should also be resetting the blockboard, or otherwise I mean, looks like it's not something that can happen, maybe because everything's counted so perfectly, but I don't like these unconnected pins. Well, that's got no input, but that is bridge complete. Really seems like to me it should be there. Do you think that'll make a mess? I'll just pop that in there just to make myself feel better. I mean, if the bridge is complete, it needs to do something else. Let's save that. Okay. We're not going to be stuck for another 2 hours, don't worry. This is going to be... this is nice and easy. We know what the problem is. As long as when we test it, it works. just double checking what we're trying to do here. So if the creature status is waiting, it's not. It should be like we should be able to tell it to do something else. Eventually, like cart reservations tick down because it keeps reserving the cart. Just double check that. I'm sure cart reservations tick down. You know, the fastest way to deal with this will be just to test it. So here we go. This is like if it's complete and it's equal to waiting, so it's not equal, then it'll set right. So that actually that does it for us. This line here actually does this pin, so it's that's fine. I don't want to set things to none. So if it's a colony creature and it's got a bridgehead to cross, right? If it's not equal to waiting, right? Return, because then it's definitely doing something important in the second half, right? Right. And now, if the bridgehead isn't complete, this is the thing here. If the bridgehead isn't complete, it just returns, and we don't want to do that. What we want to say is if the bridgehead isn't complete, well, really, we want to just say if the creature status is equal to waiting, we might carry on, right? Unless it's waiting. If the bridgehead is complete, you do that output pin, right? I'll do nothing, and then here return. I would expect. This down here, yeah, lost the bridge, but then I don't want to set this to none. I want to leave it going, so we don't want to actually change the behavior. So that sets it to none. And then we want to keep it going. If it's waiting, the bridge is complete, we carry on. But we want to carry on without decision being set to none if it just does this. So really we want if the else is return, is there any reason that we would be here and we need to set the decision to none. I don't think so. I don't think so. If it's waiting, and the bridge is complete, it gets set to none. Otherwise we don't need to set it to none. Nobody else needs to be set to none here. Of course, we could always stick an else in there, because maybe it doesn't have a bridgehead to cross, and that would confuse it, right? So just put that there. Stick the else here, just so we get we definitely have the same behavior. And then if it's not a colony creature, I mean, it shouldn't be trying to make a bridge anyway. So, I mean, I can put an else in there, but like, if it actually reaches this point, the game's broken anyway. We need to check that out. And then the other thing, I mean, let's see if this works first. And if this works fine, there's just a little optimization we might want to do. Okay. Empires of the Undergrowth, what about wasp? Termites? Wasps, bees, and more yeah, that's right. So ants and bees evolved from wasps. You can say that. Whereas termites, they're independent. They're more like cockroaches. And they learn to have this colony structure independently. What do you call it? Convergent evolution. That's the phrase, isn't it? You have other things that form colonies as well. Have you considered streaming on Twitch? I did. I was going to stream on Twitch. The problem is we've got this Slug Disco Twitch account, and it has to be connected to a phone number because there's two-factor authentication. And it's John's phone, so if I wanted to stream, I have to ask John for the code, and it's just fiddly, which is why we're doing it on YouTube. What we could do with is like a shared phone number or something like that, but I don't know how that works. You can probably get one with Skype or something. I mean. Right, now what we're doing is, first of all, we want to see if the bridge still gets built and deconstructed. So we've got some tests to do because we've just changed the order of several behaviours, and we want to make sure they still work. We can place the bridge down. Naked mole rat colony, yes. Alright, okay, they made the bridge. Can they exit the bridge? They can exit the bridge. Can they make the bridge again? See, the last two stayed because the bridge is still needed. Okay, alright, okay, good. The bridge works. Now let's launch some enemies. And make this bridge over here. And now they attack.
Has begun.
And that worked surprisingly well. Let's wait until all the creatures are dead and see if it's somehow messed up the bridges. Because if you remember before, they'd have just tried to run past the crickets. I'm gonna level these to level 3 so they're stronger. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to defeat these crickets. There we go. There we go. Deal with that one. Dead. Okay, okay, okay. Now we've got problems. Look at that. That was something that... Oh, I've seen that before. It's like they ran across and bounced back. Did you see that? Let's remove the bridge. So let's just go back and see if they do that again, like with a fresh bridge. No, they made it okay that time. So it's got something to do with them entering combat and then trying to make the bridge. So let's launch the enemies again.
The ants must fight.
Let's see if we can get a better idea of what's going on. So. Oh. What's that weird spline there all about? Okay, so what's going on here with these ants? Do with a longer bridge to test this. And what are you? What's going on in your mind? It's inside follow trail. You're inside follow trail and you've started crossing the bridge. You're not allowed to cross the bridge yet. And so you shouldn't be in follow trail. And then somehow, oh god, there's a lot of, I think it's like leftover splashing. Lots of the ants are trying to get out and get across. And then they're being told to go back, or yeah, some of them are turning around. But they're walking on water. What is it that stops them crossing the bridge? I wonder. When they're heading out. It might be that we just need to, because we've let them go through here. And if they're on make bridge and they're equal to waiting, but the bridge isn't complete, they can continue. So I mean, it's flip-flopping their behaviour, but I mean, you'd have thought it would cause a problem otherwise. The only thing that would change here before we really start debugging this is right down here, follow trail. Okay. Stick this in down here. If it's made it this far, turn. Just see if that makes any difference. I have seen this behaviour before, so it's something that was caused by something else and fixed a long time ago, so I don't think it will be a big deal. Yeah, freak out when trying to decide between harvesting or bridge making. It shouldn't freak out. It should decide to harvest now. It wouldn't have before. But really we want the bridge building to just act like a normal trail. So anything the ant wants to do, you should override it. And it wasn't happening there. Yeah, I'd say the ants construct. I'd say the first ant's constructing the bridge. See the bridge is completed. You build at the same time. Yeah, something like that. I don't think the bridge has been marked as complete, but right. We'll just see if this helps because it's a long shot, but it's what we would have done anyway. And then if this doesn't work, we'll just see. We'll just check where the ants are deciding whether or not there's a bridge that needs to be crossed, and then find out what the problem is.
The ants will fight to the
Oh,
death.
I've got to upgrade these. They didn't look too happy about that first bridge. Well, that seemed normal. Let's try this one. Aha, look at that. That wasn't good. Reaching out into the middle of the bridge after they finished. What's that all about? Let's see what's going on here. Now come back. That seemed fine. Am I looking for problems that were already there? And I'm only seeing them because I'm really worried something's broken and it's not as bad as it looks. That one went out too far anyway. I think that's it.
The ants must fight.
I mean, that seems alright to me. Come back home. You know what this could be? I mean, they went back in a funny order then, but I don't think that's got anything to do with what we've done. I reckon that could be more to do with increasing the number of carts to 100. Because I'm not actually seeing there being much of a problem here. The fire ants still have the forever floating legs. Probably, I haven't checked, they might have. Can't see from this height. So we know there's now 100 carts. So they can all go out, as many as possible at once. And they should go back the same way as they went in. Which they are doing. They seem fine. I do wonder what would happen, like if they're building a bridge across. You know what might be happening? And maybe it's not really that fixable. Right, so bunch of those ants
Must fight.
are reserved like carts to go across. Well, apparently they hadn't. No, I think it's working. I don't think it's broken. I think there might have been something. I mean, it's quite hard to say. Let's put some. Let's put this beast here, right at the edge. I'll have to grab these ones. Come down here. Come on. Oh, that's a dead one. It's another dead one. Move the dead ones out of the way. Oh, that one's dead as well now. Brilliant. Wait for the ants to come. Oh, actually, I want them to deconstruct the bridge first. I'll move them here. Pause. I want you right here. Are you alive? You look alive. You go there. Resume, and then move the thing across. That was pretty, you know, action-packed at the entrance of the bridge. That looked okay. I think maybe what happens is, you know, the carts want to be filled in order, but maybe sometimes the ant doesn't make it to the cart because it's now been distracted. The cart still gets used, but maybe it makes it look like an ant runs out to the middle of the water. I think it was worse before we'd made that change, where ants were flipping back into the other part of their behaviour tree, which they're not doing now. I wasn't expecting them to do it anyway, but yeah, seems fine. I'm happy with that. If we have any other problems, we'll tackle them later. See, it wasn't 2 hours. Right. Okay, so that's the bug solved. Now we get to do level design, and I'm going to design these fish away, I'm afraid. Right. So we need to think about what the player's going to start with, resources wise, what enemies, what dangers are going to be around underground. We need to decide how those spawns are going to increase in size every day. Which reminds me, I'll close these down. That reminds me, we've got these update spawn mass level multiplier. Let's just double check this. Spawn mass level multiplier not equal to. Well, that's not very clever, is it? I suppose you might want to multiply it by 0, but what would be the point, right? Shouldn't check if things are equal to floats. Check out the patrol manager now. Right, so we've got the spawn mass level multiplier, which What is the spawn mass level multiplier? It's just a thing on the patrol manager. Right, so the way this is supposed to be set up is we've got like initial ratios, and the ratio across the whole board is going to increase. I mean, I'd like to do it piecewise for each route, but I don't think it's necessary in the demo. I think one multiplier is fine. Since we are actually going to use we're using two different patrol managers for the main islands and the mini islands. All these three could. Although, yeah, what we want to do sometimes is we want to swap around who spawns the most, don't we? So we are going to want a piecewise spawn mass change. So what we want to do is you want to grab the patrol manager, and we want to see here we've got where do these are the chances of the different things. That's fine. It's on the actual patrol route where the spawn mass is put in place. I really don't like this spawn mass. Can't believe that was equivalent to 100 black ants. But still. You know, we can test if it's working by spawning black ants. I will have to add. What's this? We've got one here called Jimmy that I added earlier. Right, I need to put the black ant in here. But when I bring up this drop down box, you'll be able to see loads of creatures that are secrets. So usually I put my face over this, but Mike kindly provided me with a workflow for covering up these things on the stream. So let me just see if I can sort that out for you. So my laptop just went to sleep. Right, so I'm going to want to just temporarily mute the desktop. I'm going to want to do this. Right. I want to scale that to the right place. Yeah, that's right. And then I can see my window, right? And then if this is set to VLC, then you should be able to see. Let's see if we can, there we go. Yes. So I can play that. Let's just put that there. That's right. Yes. And I can choose. This one's Swarm Black Ant. Okay. Right. Oh no! Okay. We know that when it repeats, it changes size, so. But you didn't see anything there. Okay, that's sorted. I can turn that off now. Was that better than just making my face really big? I've been told to thank Steph from the Discord for putting that together. Okay, so I've now got this one with black ants in it. They're called Jimmy. So I'm going to launch Jimmy here. And what I'm going to do, because this is supposed to be normalized to black ants, I'm going to launch Jimmy on island 2 with 10 spawn mass, right? And then we should see 10 black ants. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, raw 10. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, I take it back. It's working fine. I think the spiny devils are a little bit their point value might be a little bit too high. But you know, I can trust the system now. So we're happy with things spawning on the 3 islands. We're happy with the amounts, nothing's going to change. So we really, right, that was what we were going to do. We need to create this function that's going to change this normalized spawn mass. Okay. And we're going to create that function on the patrol manager because it's just going to be easy. So stick it at the bottom. Do we want to? We'll just do them all separately. No need to do them all at once. Spawn mass is in that is a float, isn't it? Is it a float? Yeah. Okay, let's create that. Liam, I got ideas for fire ants. Ability choice 1 for 1% health loss. You get 1% attack boost. 1%. You get 2 seconds of regenerating health. I think there's something similar to that, you know. You'll have to ask John. He has. Let me just see. See if I can find it because I know it came up last time, and. Let me see. Data? Be creature abilities. It's written down somewhere. Oh, here we go. But I bet this is just. Yeah, it's all of the creatures' data except fire ants. Okay. Yeah, we've got 2 types and Yeah, they're interesting. They're interesting. Actually, I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to talk about these. I don't think it matters that much. It's not really that secret. So, there's the two options are pervasive and vigorous. So the first one is hatching is free if the egg has been on the tile for more than a certain amount of time. So the idea there is if you both of these abilities, the idea is you want to get through the ants as quick as possible. The idea we wanted with fire ants was to make them seem expendable. So with the hatch being free after a certain amount of time, it means that after that time's passed, you've basically you're wasting your ant, because you may as well kamikaze it against something, because the next one's free when it hatches. So it sort of encourages you to get into lots of fights. And then the other one's quite similar, not quite as interesting, but it does the same thing. When the ant is born, it has a buff for a limited amount of time that gives it extra stats. So in the same way, you want to sort of use it up and get a new one, because the new ones will have better stats after the buff's weared off. But it's a little bit different, because maybe if you're dealing with low amounts of food, you don't necessarily want to lose the fire ants in exchange for the buff, whereas with the other option, it would always be a good idea to lose them, but they're not supercharged when they're new. So yeah, interesting things. Yeah, we've talked about weaver ants and the nests being hard to make. We wouldn't be able to do it justice just sticking some leaves on the floor, and then because we still need that 3-hole system. I'm sure we could bodge it together. They are really cool, weaver ants are. They just look scary. So what I need to do is, sorry, I don't know I'm not that familiar with the structures of everything here, so it'll just take me a second to find. There's roots, patrol routes, fine. That'll find what we want. And then I'm guessing that this has got spawn mass. No, why spawn mass? That's what I want. Okay. Space, but you know what? I don't know what all of these things are. Space. Base amount to start when calculating spawning. Well, it says calculated from normalised spawn mass. It doesn't need to be read and write, so I guess I'm not supposed to mess with it. And this has just been copy pasted, like most of the stuff we do, just to make it difficult for us when we come back to it. So I guess this is really simple. And I'm assuming this launch function does look up normalized spawn mass. It does. And then it updates this base level spawn mass. And nothing should be updating that base level spawn mass. Shouldn't be. Oh. It wasn't copy and pasted. It's been changed from edit anywhere to visible anywhere. And then, so you can only actually edit it in a blueprint rather than in the editor. Maybe there was some idea around maybe it needs to be edited independently at some point, so I'm just going to leave it. I'll leave it and say everything's fine now. What's the problem with... Oh, right, okay, it's pointing. Good. Everyone's happy. I'm going to have to recompile, so I'll save this, close the editor. We might I mean, there'll be other ants to make and other abilities to put in. We do have the tier 5 abilities all set up as well, even though the tier 5 ants haven't been announced yet. But you know, like, I don't think we've got like variants set up for the non-playable ants. I don't think so. Because they don't need variants because they're not playable. And I imagine you know, when they get added into free play, they'll need abilities. But the best thing to do is to give your idea to John, because he has the final say on these things. I like this the Saharan silver desert ant. I wanted to add it a long time ago, but it's not going to be the tier 5 ant, I'm afraid. We did want to add it, but the sort of like the number of creatures we could play with was a little bit restrictive. But they are really cool. I was closing this and recompiling, wasn't I? Lost concentration. Whilst that's going, if you don't mind, I'm just going to have a drink. Right. Oh, it compiled, did it? I'm abusing the radiator. What noises do you hear when I'm making a cup of coffee? I'll have to listen back. Right. Okay, right, now we've got the function that we need. So we can, we should be able to grab this and update normalize spore mass by root name. So we know that Jimmy, or sorry, not Jimmy, but Island 2 only has 10 black ants that spawn. Let's just double check that actually. Press the full stop. 10 little black ants come out. Right. Now what we can do is, this is not a multiplier, it's just a new value. So if I set this to 50, and then launch the creatures, we should see 50 black ants come out. Only they don't. We still get 10. Which means it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? The root name is definitely Island 2. What was it? Well, full stop's not making that happen at all. What have I done? Why is that breakpoint not going off? That's not right. Update normalize spawn mass by root name, that's the function we just made. I look. You know what? I looked in the chat because I thought, you know what? You've been watching. Maybe someone's spotted what I've done wrong. Maybe someone's going, you know what? It's that line there. You've just missed the blah blah blah. And I thought, you know what? Someone might know. And I look at the chat, and everyone's just saying fish. Let's see if when I press full stop. This seems to me like a stupid mistake that I must be doing. Route name, email. It's so simple. It's so simple. What's the problem? It's not like made. That's some sort of weird bracket of weirdness. What's all this? Warnings. Oh, it's that. The patrol editor. I don't have to worry about that, I don't think. I'm gonna press full stop again. Okay, now it does it. Okay. Yeah. Is current route real? It is. And he did it. And it says he did it. Okay. And yet I plug that in there. Press the button, undo these, continue, and lo and behold, just 10 ants. Let me just see. Patrol manager. Black ant. Island 2. Normalized spawn mass is now at 50. So it has updated it. It's updated it. But when I press the button, it only spawns 10 ants. I am incredibly confused. Let's plug this directly in here and change it right here to 50. Bet 10 ants spawn. No, 50 ants spawn, right? So we've missed something, right? Somewhere in, is there a begin play on this thing? Set up patrol swarms, maybe it's that. Does this do anything with calculate the base level spawn mass? That's not recalculated at launch. That's not recalculated at launch. Okay, alright, we've got to do this. This we know, Right, what is this? Let's go back to where that was. Patrol swarms for each patrol route. We have a patrol ref. We've spawned a special patrol. And we add the patrol points. Finish spawn actor, and then route. Okay, patrol routes is a map. And it's a map of, I think, is that the same one that we get? It is. It is. So we've updated Oh, right, okay, I see. Very good. This just doesn't get recalculated each time it launches, right? So that should do the trick. Fish removed because we started level designing. Shut up. We are level designing. We just making some of the tools we need for level design. It's level design is about to start right now. Alright, I'm going to press full stop. 50 ants are going to come out. Everyone's going to cheer. And then we'll start the process of figuring out who spawns what, where, why, and when. Okay, let's go. Plug it into this, which goes into that. Make sure that it's set to 10. So it's set to 10, and even though it's set to 10, 50 ants will come out when I press full stop. 50 ants. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 30, 50. Yeah, 50 there. Okay. So now we just need to choose. Right. So we're going to have. Let's make. What should we do? We're going to want three. Right. So the what we can do. Right. We've got 3 routes. Those are my 3 routes, right? And what we can do is we can have these connected to different, spawn group A, B, or C. We can swap them. Around. Although you'd have thought maybe the same creatures. Yeah, the same creatures stay on the same islands, right? But let's have 3 spawn groups, right? And connect them together like this, right? Right, we can do this now, and so we'll have different creatures on each island, and then what we'll do is we'll vary how many are on each island, and there'll always be, shall we say, let's do 3 sizes, right? Oh, thank you for the round of applause. Thank you very much. What was I doing? Had some dead bushes, and yeah, the bushes are coming. All I've got to do is autosave. Look, see, you distracted me, and then I got caught by the autosave. So who's the one slowing down level design, eh? So that was mean of me. You just given me a big round of applause. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have 3 sizes of like spawn magnitude. So what we'll do is we'll have magnitude 1, and then 2, 3, and then we'll rotate them, right? Right, and then over time, right, so there'll always be a small one, a big one, and a medium one, and then each round they'll all get multiplied a bit, getting bigger, but they'll swap over who's the biggest. And then what we'll do is we've got the satellite islands, right? mealworms. We'll add some mealworms. Right. So we've got three. I mean, there's spawn groups. I'm going to call them fodder group, just so that we're clear on what these are. We've got fodder group A, fodder group B, fodder group C. And what we're going to do is we're going to change the magnitudes. Right. I mean, what we want to do is we want to change the amount of sync with island 1, 2, and 3. And what we could do to keep them out of sync is just keep them all the same. But if they go, I'd like the player to have to sort of observe which one had the most on it. So let's just play with this cycle. Because I'd be essentially suggesting this, right? And then, you know, we get every combination with that one, every combination with that one, and every combination with this one. We can't get every combination if this is rotating, like 3, 1, 2. Actually, we can. Yeah, we can. 1, 2, 3, and then 3, 1, 2. Oh, that one's the same as that one, so that would be. This can't be. This got to be a 2, which makes that 3. Now 1, and then it's got to be a 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we've got. A small, medium, and large here for medium, large, small. So like for every day, we've got every combination. We've got, like for day 1, we've got a small group with loads of food. And then on day 2, we've got a small group with loads of food. And on day 3, we've got a small group with loads of food. We don't want that, do we? We don't want that. No. No, we don't want that. This is the way we want to do things. Keep it simple. Right? And then each day we've got small and small, big and medium, and we've got medium, big. So it's day 3 before we get small fodder and big enemies. If we want big fodder, it's day 3 before we get big fodder with small enemies, isn't it? Big fodder, big enemies, big fodder, medium enemies. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. So the islands, they stay the same. I hope someone's following me. You're gonna add muddy textures, especially ones near the water. Yeah, we can do that. I'll do, you know what? Painting's got to be done anyways, right? So I'll start painting before 5. But I want to get this set up now, because this is sort of the meat and potatoes of the actual gameplay really here with the attacks from the 3 islands. So we want to set that up. What we're going to want is, we decided they're not going to be on separate days. We're doing these independently, right? So we're going to have handle, water movement, and main creature spawns. Oh, I forgot that we'd done this. Brilliant. Brilliant. So what we want is, where do we tell it to launch creatures? Right here. Okay. All we need to do is we need a function that take spawn masses. Okay. And what I'm going to want is, let's say, what are these going to be? These are our root names. Though I don't need an array for that because I know what the root names are. It's fixed. I don't need root names. What we need is our we need this. So we need, let's store them in do we have oh, we do have an int vector. Okay, that'll do. And then that's two. Next time this is name, and this is what did we call them? Did we call them main and fodder? We called them. So this is main routes to main routes to magnitude modifiers. This is fodder routes to magnitude modifiers. And right at the beginning in level setup, I'm just going to make and I'm gonna put boom, boom, and 1, and 2, and 3. One, 2, 3. What did we say they were? 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2. And the last one is 2, 3, 1. Okay. And it's going to go in here. Island 1, 2, and 3. Fish, 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 fish. Fish. How about a dead fish? Mike said we'll be seeing dinosaur ants. That's the first I've heard of that. We'll be seeing everything eventually. I'd love to do love to do like you know, like a sort of a version, like some levels from however long ago, several million years, and have all extinct species. That'd be really cool. Did we call these Island 1-1? I think we did, didn't we? We just put in the score 1 on the end. And then I've lost my up again. Okay, 1-1-1, 2-2-2. Oh yeah, that's easy. They doesn't really need. They don't need to be. I'll make them vectors because, and I'll tell you why. In case we want to mess with it. Better to put the functionality in now, in case we have a really cool idea later. Right. Okay. So that's. Save everything. Right. So the next thing we need to do is not only do we have this, like it revolves, so update spawn masses. Okay, so every day the spawn masses get revolved. So we want this is actually available somewhere, I think. Environmental controls, day number. No, ooh, do you update it every day or every cycle? Every cycle. That's the easiest way to do it. So let's just keep track of it. I'm going to give these a category. So these are going to be just spawn controls. And then yeah, instead of keeping track of exactly what day we are and how far we've got, we'll just keep ticking it up. I think so. Not, you know, we're not basing this on days. It's just how often they spawn. So let's have. If this is going to update the spawn masses, and we've got. I mean, we can just get a reference to patrol manager here, and we need to update the spawn masses with this thing using root name and the new mass. What we need is a current like a global mass that gets updated each time, and then we need to decide how much these change everything by. Yeah, okay. Let's make some new variables. So this is just going to be a float. This is going to be global main spawn mass. Spawn control. Now we're going to have global fodder, spawn mass, and we're going to want to set these up initially because they're going to just overwrite everything that we put on the actual patrol managers in the level. And then we're going to want, we should call these daily increase, not daily increase, just go regular mass increase. I'm not going to do a multiplier because I don't want it to be exponential. We'll just have it go up like that. So it'll just be a number, right, that happens every day. And we could have, let's say, maybe for the first couple of days it doesn't increase, something like that. We can change the profile of this. And then we do need one more thing, which is, what are the effects of those numbers 1, 2 and 3? I need a vector. Magnitude modifier scale. Because we put them as like 1, 2 and 3, and we don't have any way of like sort of changing the values of those. I could just change these to vectors, couldn't I? That might be the key, because we've just got these 1s, 2s and 3s. But then maybe I want to sort of balance it separately to that. Yeah, so let's keep these as vectors. And then I'll duplicate this. I'll actually have this as main magnitude modifier scale. And we'll duplicate that and we'll have fodder magnitude modifier scale. Okay, and then here what we do is we go main roots, and we what's this? Alright, I've got to, there we go, find island 1. I can't for each of these, can I? There's no. See, I can get the keys. Might be easier. It's no big deal. And then inside this loop, we find the modifier, we break the vector, and then this. Okay. And then we don't want an execution pin. We start this on 1, don't we? Switch on int. New normalized spawn mass is the global spawn mass multiplied by, if that's a 1, it's x, move these over. Something like that. I'm terrible at making these things neat. X, Y, Z. Set them up like that. And then let's make a local variable. New spawn mass, and just set it. One, two, three. Why is this? Hang on. If X is 1, 2, 3. Right, okay, so this is the other thing. This is like a daily switch. So what we've got to do is we've got to keep track of where we are, right? We need in here. We don't want it. It's not daily, so we don't want a day number. We want spawn loop position. That's an integer, and that's going to go. Really should go 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, shouldn't it? I'm going to confuse it 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. No, I shouldn't do that, should I? I'll do it 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. Right. So we'll set this as these creature spawn controls, and then we'll get it. And then each time we update the spawn masses, the loop position increases. Or let's even put that in another function. Spawn loop. Is let's just do that. Plus plus. Is greater than 2, 0, 1, 2, goes up to 3, set it to 0, there we go, commit spawn loop, nice, save, I haven't saved in a while. Just check in with the chat. Fire ant, fish ant. Is this a vote or are we just saying ants? Black garden ants. I think black garden ants is several hundred different species depending on where your garden is. I like the exploding carpenter ant. That's a nice one. You know, we ran a Kickstarter a long time ago for Empires: The Undergrowth back when it was going to be a mobile game, and we wanted to put carpenter ants in it as sort of these. If you've played StarCraft, like banelings that you send in they suicide and explode, and we got a really angry message from someone saying how disappointed they were that we'd added that in because it was so unrealistic. Don't think they played many computer games though. Some people want Ant Simulator, realistic Ant Simulator, so you have to draw that line somewhere. Right, so we've got the loop, and then what we do here, what level have we got? Spawn position loop. And we switch this on integer, and brilliantly I started it at 0 this time, so that's just going to be confusing, isn't it? It's only me that's ever going to look at this, right? So number 1 does this, and actually what we'll do here is we'll set the this is inside the loop here, so I'm gonna have another local variable. Let's just set that. X, Y, Z. 1, 2. And then in here, just get it. Boom, boom, boom. Then I don't have to copy and paste all this. There we go. That's got to go up here. Right, and then we've set the new spawn mass. The only other thing we've got to do is add on the regular spawn mass increase here and set the new global spawn mass. Increment the spawn loop, and then this whole blurb here decides whether we've got a 1, 2, or 3, and then it gets it looks up a magnitude based on that, and then this will update that route with new spawn mass and the route name, which comes out of there. Can we get this looking sort of partially neat somehow? I don't think so. There you go. That's could be worse. Okay, so that goes round them all, and then that's the patrol manager, which we should call this. We need to change the name of this to main creatures patrol manager. Alright, so that's compile and refresh that. And once we've done this, we need to do it exactly the same again below. Now, there's nicer ways to do this. Much nicer ways to do this. Where we don't have to copy and paste. But I'm going to copy and paste. Because I'm lazy. And this is going to be fodder routes. Ah. And then up here we want a reference to the fodder creatures. And that's the new spawn mass right there. Also not global main spawn mass, it's global fodder spawn mass we want. Like that. Current in magnitude. That's the vector from there. Okay. Right. Right then. That should update them all. That should work. We just got to set the starting variables, and then we'll test it. We'll test it first with some quick day-night cycles. See what happens. Level setup, which isn't actually plugged in. Creature spawning variables right here. That sets up these, and then we need to set all of this stuff. So we're going to set spawn loop position, can just start at 0, that doesn't matter. Even though actually it, if we want it to actually start at 0, we need to start it at 2 because it updates before anything else updates. we'll start off global main spawn mass at 10, and we'll do the same with fodder spawn mass. 10, and the regular increase can be 5, and then the scale, right, for a scale of 1, it goes, actually 1's the smallest, so let's have, we could do 0.5, 1 and 1.5, but maybe that's a little bit boring. So how about 0.2 and make it more obvious as well. 1 and 2, like that. Okay. And then I'll just use the same for the fodder for now. Okay, so that's I think that's everything we need to set up. Oops. Now we know that I think that when this goes off, alright, what we need to do, yeah, the last thing we need to do is we actually need to run this, update spawn masses. And you know what? Okay. We actually need to do this. We need to do it separately, you know. So this. Let's do and. This is a little bit bodgy here, but basically because it's got to run twice, and I want to keep things separate, I'm just putting some balls in just to make it a little bit more readable when we're running the different loops. So first of all, it's going to see if it wants to do these global updates, which is just the global spawn mass and incrementing the spawn loop as a whole, and this affects everything. I'll break that link, move this up here, and then we'll branch this main spawns, and if it's the main spawns it'll do this one, and if it's the fodder spawns it'll do that one. That's actually a tick box between main and fodder. These are all, they're not dependent on each other, are they? No. Okay, save that. Check the Discord, check the Discord. What's happened? What's out there? What's happened? What's been leaked? Scrolling up. All I'm seeing is fish. There's fish. At least the dead fish. I want fish. I'm having sea bream for dinner. What's going on? Why does it feel like everybody except for me knows what's going on? Okay. We've leaked something. We've leaked the fish coming out. Tier 5 ants are going to be goldfish with legs. Brilliant. Okay, I'm up to date. Now back to this sensible stuff. This sends them to sleep, this launches them, so anything that launches them. So this is the main creature spawn channel here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to update main spawns and global variables here. But this is the fodder one. So I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm not going to update global variables, and it's not the main spawns, it's the fodder. Okay. The only thing left to do is to just double check who's spawning. Double check who's spawning. We've got jungle 1 and fodder. Right, jungle 1 and fodder are going to spawn. So in main creatures, what I'm going to do, I'm going to change it from jungle 1 to Jimmy, because we know that Jimmy is just black ants on their own, so we'll be able to keep an eye on the numbers. So let's change this to Jimmy here, just for testing purposes. We'll keep fodder as is. Fodder spawn starts at 10 as well. Okay. Right, shall we see what happens? The last thing I want to do, because the creatures are going to attack me, I don't want to bug this out, because they won't be able to get a route to the player's nest. So I'm just going to dig this out. Even though that's a cavern, so it's probably going to confuse it. Let me just dig this so it's not a cavern. And then play. Okay. Right, the water's high and 10 black ants should be spawning. They are not spawning. Probably something very obvious, like this has been unplugged. Okay, try again. Come on, someone spawn. Okay, okay. It's started. And yeah, the spawn duration is over the whole duration of the day. I can count them by looking at the map. So we should have one with very few, one with a medium amount, and one with lots. Now these two look about the same to me. This one's definitely the one with only a few on it. We've definitely got the effect going on with the fodder. I'm just a little bit worried about how things scale on this, because these two look the same. They are coming out over the whole course of the day, of course, and because it's the same spawner, they're going to keep going. I don't like how few this has got and how many these have got. It seems a little bit unfair to me. Let's just pause that there and have a look at this. This is island 1 down at the bottom. So island 1 should have the least stuff, which it does, and it should have the least fodder, which it also does. Island 2, this one here, should have the most, and it should have a medium amount of fodder. And island 3 should have a medium amount of stuff, but the most fodder. That seems to have worked. Yeah, that's working. Because that looks like it's got the most fodder compared to this one. It's hard to tell when they're killing each other, but yeah, this has definitely got more. And then this has definitely got more ants than this one, yeah. So it's taken most of the day for them to all come out, so you can get an idea of it. And the issue is the way that the patrol manager works is it ticks at a certain rate, and then it cycles through the different spawns. So even though it's set to do it over the course of the whole day, if one of the spawns is only going to produce less creatures, they'll get finished first. Oh, maybe we should change how that works. Okay, now everybody's coming. And these ones should all be going to bed. We're about to be attacked by black ants. Gotta put some defense in place. That's going to be enough. There's quite a lot coming. Yeah, this definitely had the most. It's taken the longest to go away. Did you add a small big-headed colony in the underground? And you know, I'd love to add a small big-headed colony in the underground. I would love to. But I've been given explicit instructions to finish this demo level by the end of the week. Maybe the official one after Gamescom will have something else in the underground. Maybe. I'll keep it in mind, but for now I think this is just how it's going to work. Okay, so we dealt with the problem. I'm just going to wait until the next day and make sure that the rotation's working. Not the next day, the next water movement. I can't remember what the period on it was. You want me to react to the leak? Well, you mean the leak of the goldfish with legs? Oh, right, I'm checking now. What did I do? What did I leak? Gee, what did I click on that leaked everything? I'm gonna have to go back and check. Just goldfish with legs. Right, I need to check what's spawning now because it's just... Oh, actually. Okay. Let's pause there. So, don't post an image and everyone else will see. I see. Don't tell anyone. Okay. Right, I'm gonna have to. I've got to check now. It was bound to happen at some point, wasn't it? It's so dangerous. Oh dear. And another one. I'm going to be in serious trouble, aren't I? It's okay. It'll just be lost. It'll be lost into the history of the Discord, and then we'll just pretend it never happened. We'll make sure everything's blurred out in this video. There's only 30 people watching anyway. Nobody knows. Right. I'm checking out these now. So Island 1 should be magnitude 2. Island 2 should be at magnitude 1. Island 3 should be magnitude 3. That looks about right. And then, of course, these 3 stay the same, which it looks like I have done. So I'm going to play this through and just make sure it loops. And they should be getting slowly bigger as well. No, man of the ants. No videos. You know, it could all be an elaborate hoax. Maybe we called everything stuff that we're not having in the game. Yeah, I didn't think about that, did you? The triple bluff. Couldn't I get a mission? Why some things are being deleted? It's interesting. Right. Ants are all coming in now.
The ants must defend themselves.
Press the wrong button. That one. Okay, so we should see the third we should do the third notepad spawn list, and we should be noticing that they get a little bit bigger each time as well.
The queen is in imminent danger.
The queen's in. Oh dear. No, 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 no. Oh, no! Don't hurt the queen. Let's move her out of the way. There you go. So you can't do that when you're playing. Right. When the water goes up, then new ones should spawn. And we should be looking at this. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so now we're looking at. Let's let them build up a little bit first. So we should right. Okay, so we're seeing the same things here. You know, this is oh no devils, coach horses spawn. It's all random anyway. But this is the smallest. This one should be medium, and this one should be large. But you see, it's a lot bigger than it was when it first started. So everything's increasing every night. So even though, yeah, because they're still going to spawn over a long period of time, hopefully. I mean, what did this start with? It would have started with 10 10 black ants multiplied by 0.2, which would have been 2 black ants. And then it would be 3 cycles. And I think we added on 10 each time. So that would be 10 times 0. It would be 30 times 0.2. Which is 6. There should be 6 black ants. I can only see 5, but you know what? I'll take 5. 5's close enough. Maybe they killed one of them. Yeah, maybe they just murdered one of them, and there was 6 up here. Right, so this is getting worse now. I gotta be a bit more careful with my queen dying, because that's quite an army coming for us.
The battle has begun.
The battle has begun. That should hold them. They should be fine there. These black ants are really holding their own, aren't they? They should be spawning at level 1. It's okay. We've got infinite fire ants. So the last thing. So we've confirmed that the rotations are working and they're in the right order. We've confirmed that they're increasing every cycle. Last thing we need to confirm now is that it resets, but it's still increasing. Fish, fish, fish. We've already confirmed fish. Okay. So I don't remember which one's the small one now, but let's let them spawn a little bit. The one with the least black ants should now have 8 black ants. And it's starting to look like it's this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 have come out. It's not particularly promising, actually. If only 6 have come out, there's some rounding problem somewhere. I'm not going to worry too much about that, because it does look like stuff's happening. Like Island 1 is supposed to have the least now, Island 2's got the most, and Island 3's got the medium amount if it's cycle background, and these are all the same. So it's just a matter of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why has it got 6 instead of 8? It's like increasing by 1 black ant each time instead of 2. That's fine. I imagine it's a rounding error somewhere, because it's like the cost of each one's exactly 1 black ant, and it's not keeping the remainder, something like that. So hopefully, you know, the more you spawn, the more accurate it'll be. Yeah, I'm quite happy that's all working. Alright, I'm happy with that. That's working nicely. So now we need to choose what different creatures are going to spawn there, and in order to balance the whole level, all we need to do is just play with these numbers here. Regular spawn mass increase was 5, not 10, which is why we had 5 ants and 6 ants, because it would have been 10, and then it would have added on, well, it would have added on 5, then 5, then 5 by the third night, wouldn't it? Was it 5 and 5? That'll be why it was adding on 1 at a time anyway, because 5 times 0.2 is 1. I don't remember where we were when it happened, but that now makes sense. So we just have to choose what creatures are going to spawn, and tweak these values until it feels right, and play with what's going to spawn underground, and set up the promised land, and of course decorate everything. So why don't we do half an hour of painting before I finish. One thing that we do want to do is maybe I've never dealt with the edge of the world being water, so this is going to be interesting. I don't know if that was intentional to cut that down. Put a little bit there. Don't want too much of this low down. And then really what I want to do is try and mush this big what's it into it. I'm not really good at this. Let's flatten it all out first. I'll save before I do that. Make it muddy to make more like a swamp. I'll do that, but I've got to smooth. I'll get everything smoothed in first. If I can remember how to use these tools. Look at that, that's nice. That's up. That's up. What's down? Do I press Control or Shift? Shift will do it. Yeah, Shift brings it all down out. Let's have a bigger brush. Can I have a bigger brush? Oops. I want sculpt, smooth, flatten. Oh, look at that. Flat. Everything flat. Flatten it all out. And then, what else? I need to change this texture to God's sake. That's what I should have done before. Just get that right. Okay. Right, so I've changed it and it's gone really weird. Sorry, I have to put that. Oh, it's still there. Excuse me. I've been told I've got to put that over panels when stuff comes up that might leak things, which I definitely haven't already done during the stream. Okay, this should be paintable, I think. But that's just painting the map. I don't like what's happened here. It's the right stuff, but I don't know how I'm supposed to paint this. And I haven't got like, it just selects things. So I haven't really got a brush here. This looks familiar. I don't know how to turn the actual brush on. So I can't. I need to match it up with. So I can paint onto this. I can't paint over here. I'm sure I have to use this paint tool. It's like a control click or. Erase. No idea how to get this this brush to appear. There isn't a something for it here, is there? Oh, there is a paint here. Look at this. That doesn't. That's not looking like a good thing to do. Right, I'm not going to do this right now because I don't remember how any of this works. Right, and unfortunately, I've made a right mess. It looked okay before, and now it just looks crazy. I'm sure it's one of these. I'm sure this one waits, but I don't know how to stick it down. So I'm just gonna do the tile grid for now. It's all got to be done. And this is annoying me, so let's get rid of it so I can't see it. And this water, it starts at level 3, so I'll move it to where it starts. Well, actually, I'll keep it a little bit lower, so it looks okay. Right. Now the paint, we've I can't remember which ones are which. We want brush full of 0. Is that right? Or do we want it at 1? And flow to 1. Right. Okay. So now I can see what I'm doing. That's the leafy, muddy one. This is another sort of mud. This is big leaves in sand. And then texture 4 is just sand. Texture 1 is, oh, that's like cracked mud. Let's put a lot of that. Like, let's do a mix of cracked mud. So can I do like one on both of these so it just overrides it out, I guess? What's the difference between that and that? Oh, there is definitely a difference. Okay. Let's make these more floppy now. Actually, I'll have that. That's better. And I'll stick half of these in. So I don't like that one too much. Yeah, let's start with that everywhere. Or like all over the low ground anyway. Right. And then I mean, I definitely want some variation, so I'm going to grab this mud and turn it up. Get rid of that leafy one, or that mucky one, and then I'm just going to try and leave that around the edges. Probably going to want to change the terrain a little bit around this edge anyway. Might have it sort of go lower, so I won't worry too much about it. Right. Forgot. Missed that bit down there. It's a bright bit. Turn it off again. Through here. Okay. This is all mucky and it's going to stay that way. In fact, could even go a bit deeper, couldn't it? Do you know what I might do? I might put a big height 3, height 2, height 1 big ravine. Will that be lower? Yeah. Let's stick a thing through here. Just to give the water a little bit of texture. Because it'll never be exposed, this one. Good. Let's move this down a little bit out of the way. I can't see it. I'll pop some little islands back in. I like that. There we go. That looks nice. And then back to the painting. We want to turn this up for the edges here. In fact, all of this can be a bit brighter. Just make it look like this, I don't know, algae under the water or something. Right. And then turn it back to nothing here. I want to overdo this one because it's lower. This is going to always be water, so I want it to look like it's a bit mucky. Okay. Should I bother? I should bother with that. Let's do 1. Deal with this up here. we go. Coloured all that in. Right, so I want to make these raised bits look a little bit less brown. So let me just remind myself we've got two kind of sandy textures. That's the one with leaves on, so we have to be sparing with that. So if I set that to 0, this is just the normal sandy texture. Okay. Let's just... Let's just change that back. So, first of all, where's that one with lots of twigs and stuff? I'm gonna put that around first. I'll pop that on, then I'll brighten things. So these will be quite bright, so we can see all the creatures. Fish, 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 fish. Okay, everything's back to normal. I need so this. We're doing it a bit. I've got to do, change that back to 1, 2. So I just need to do a layer of this before we go over it, that's all. Because we started with it everywhere else, it just feels right to start with it. Same here. Just make it the background colour. Ultimately this is going to be much lighter, but I just want everything to look coherent. Oh wow, look at that. It's because this is the beach. You know, instead of putting that big face on this again, I'm just going to do this for a second. Excuse me. Tunnel is back and now it blends in. Actually I should do the same for the ramp, shouldn't I? So we've got this ramp and it's ramp Ecuador, so we need to do all of these ramps. Are they all the ramps? They are all the ramps. I'll just turn the screen off one more time. There we go. Now all the ramps are set up. So let's go back to painting. Just do these ramps. They're mucky. Can get rid of this. And to 0.8. 0.8. So the ramps are a little bit, so they're more consistent. Okay, and now I'll get this island first. Just going around with this. And now we're going to make the island look a bit brighter. So I'm going to put this point. I mean, we're not really applying these. That shouldn't have been anywhere near that strong. Huh. It's this brush flow that does it. That's better. Okay. Excuse me a moment. Just put this back. There we go. Didn't mean to click on that. Didn't even think I could click on that. Lost the laptop again. I'll have a really sort of sandy path that goes into that entrance there. And that entrance needs to be changed to a different one. Because I bet that's a beach spawner. Called OG Tunnel Spawner. I think there's an Ecuador version, you know. I won't worry about that right now. Okay. I like the idea of there being like sort of sandy paths outside where the creatures come from. Sandy up there. Maybe a bit too sandy. Can't see a thing. There we go. So we've got that little sandy path there. Let's have another one here. That's the future of the game. Paint the cliffs. Can you paint the cliffs? That's the question. Maybe the cliffs can be painted. Shall we see? Shall we see if they can be painted? No. Not this way anyway. The cliffs are stuck. And that's why they always go white at the edge. Maybe there's a way of dealing with that, I don't know, but for now we have white cliff edges. I'm just gonna make I'm gonna make it go a bit more sandy at the edges actually, just to make that look like not so dodgy. Oh, that's a bridgehead. Is it a bridgehead? Yeah. It's not blending very well, is it? Ah, yeah, that's the problem. It's because the edge is always just sand. Okay. So I have that problem here. I want to really brighten up this path that goes in the exit here. Like that. Maybe that's a bit too much. Have I overdone it? It's bad. Okay. Onto this one. This is the sandy entrance there. And there's another one around the back here. More patchiness. Okay. Alright, so the islands look very different now, they're much brighter. I'll do this one. Edge ones. Right, now this needs to be done. Should be kind of the same style. I'm going to give it a blast of this first with too much. Make it a bit. Okay. Okay, now let's get the sand out here as well. You think this looks like a really angry face from this angle? Like there's its eyes and its mouth. I want a path going down here. One to the bridge there. Another one here. And one to this bridge. Turn on the edges a little bit. And then smooth that one out a little bit with a big brush. And put a little bit of that back in. See what I want. There's not really much texture up here. Maybe we should stick in some, you know, some hills and things. Might look good. We're already at height 4. Where's the bridge? The bridge is over here. Just to make it look a little bit more interesting. Give plants something to grow out of. Right. Okay, now we want to put, let's just see what that'll look like when the water's up. Fish. Just fish. Okay, so this is going to be, this is the low water, and then this is the high water. So just look at these sort of sandy things, and then we've got this muck under the water here. And then it goes away, and everything can walk across it. We can put some plants in the water as well. We're definitely going to want some plants. I'm scared of pressing any of these buttons now. Well, unfortunately, it's time to end the stream. Well, you're going to have this, you know, some surrounding terrain around here. Still got to paint this. We'll pop plants down. Maybe I'll do that, or maybe it will be next time we stream. And then decide what's going to spawn here. Balance it. Decide what spawns underground, and set up the victory conditions, and then we're done. I do need to rebuild paths. Before I do anything, I'm going to save it. You can make the spawn inland infected by deadly fungus. Make the promised land nicer. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It would make the promised land nicer. What we could do with something that, I mean, maybe after a certain point, the numbers that are coming at you get so high that you have to get to the promised land or you'll die. Rather than introduce a fungus. So I don't have time to put that in at the moment. I'll double check about the cliffs. I think they have to be sandy, unless there's another method of changing the edges, because they automatically go sandy. And I can't select an individual tile. I can, but I don't have any control over the paint or anything. Okay, let's just all fish in the chat. So I'm going to build the paths. Hopefully that bridge will reappear. Let's have a look how it looks when we play. It's at night time. Can we just send the water down with this button? I think we can. That looks quite nice. And then back up. That seems sensible. That looks much better, doesn't it? And then there's this big scary bit here in the middle where it goes really deep. Right then. I think I'll wrap it up there. New spider. Again, there's so many things I'd like to put in, but it's got to be. It really needs to be done by Friday, so it can be tested, and then we can do things like, you know, putting in the icons and some other housekeeping things that need to be done. So I think it's going to have to be just pretty much what we've got to work with now. We can do a little bit more work on it before, you know, it's the official demo level in a couple of months' time. So that you can think of this as a test run to see if it's any fun. Right. Okay, I'm going to head off now. Thanks for coming, everybody. Thanks for watching me debug again. I don't think it lasted that long this time. It was still longer than expected. I think we were debugging for about an hour at the start. So sorry about that. Yeah, so hopefully I'll be back again to work on this level again. If I'm not, I'll be working on it anyway, and I'm sure I'll see you all again at some point. I need to press this button.